Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. I'm so excited to go fishing with you guys today. Here's what we're gonna do. Today we are gonna do a comparison between a swim jig and a weedless underspin. When we're throwing these baits, first off, we've talked in the past about swim jigs versus swim baits or underspins versus swim baits. Underspins and swim jigs both share a very important characteristic. They have a lot of secondary action. With our underspin, we get all that movement, that rock and that tail kick and that action of the swim bait, but we get that added vibration and that added flash of that spinner. So you get that secondary action. And on a day like today, it looks beautiful, but it's post front. If I spun the boat around, it's blowing pretty good behind us. It's not ripping, it's blowing maybe 10 miles an hour, but it's just got that post frontal, tough fishing feel about it. So that underspin is gonna help us get those fish to take a shot. Now, other end of the spectrum is that swim jig. The swim jig, same thing. We've got our swim bait trailer, we've got that action, we've got that kick. Now we've done videos on all this, right? And down in the video description, we'll give you a link to underspins as well as to swim jigs. But the swim jig, the bonus there is that skirt puffing and moving. That's gonna imitate that, the fins moving, tail flickering, the gills flaring, all those things that a real bait fish will do that a swim bait can't do. Swim bait's just got that single action. That skirt, there's your secondary action. So all in all, while they look quite different, the swim jig and the underspin are really emulating the same thing, and they're doing it in the same way. They're both doing it with great secondary action, although it's different kinds. So I think this is a really fair comparison. So what we're gonna do, enough talking, we're going fishing. Today, like I said, post frontal, tough bite for sure, but the fish have moved up into these tules, into the reeds. I'm gonna give it an hour per bait. We're gonna run some different spots. At the end of an hour, I don't know if we're gonna have no fish, 5 fish, 20 fish, I don't know, but we're gonna see which one works better on this day, swim jig or underspin. Let's find out. All right guys, clock starts now. Underspin first. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, quick time out here. Now I'm throwing this underspin, like I said. Normally when you think underspins, you're thinking docks, open water, maybe one with a heavy head, fishing it for suspended fish or down on ledges. But what we're doing today is we're throwing a 4.8 Kitech paired with a 5/0 owner flashy swimmer, totally weedless. In fact, that hook lays perfectly in that groove, but because I'm up in these thick tules, I actually back it up and skin hook right in the edge of that Kitech to make it truly, truly weedless. And then I'm fishing this thing, I mean, deep in the jungle, where you wouldn't think that an underspin would be a great fit, but it's perfect. It fishes great in this stuff. You just slow, steady reel it through there. It'll track and walk right through all that cover great, just like a swim jig will. So keep that in mind the next time you're fishing heavy cover. If you want something a little different, some secondary action, you can throw an underspin. All right, first fish on that underspin. Took about 15 minutes, but we're on the board. 45 minutes to go. We missed that one. So we've had 2 bites so far on the underspin, missed one, got one. That's not bad. We keep checking. Another one for the underspin. That's 2 in the boat. We're only halfway through. Oh, I blew it. I didn't realize that was a fish. He unloaded on that underspin. One of the troubles in these conditions, you know, this bait's just banging, 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 banging through those toolies. So when the fish bites soft, you kind of second guess yourself, and that's what that was. I got bit, but it felt like I just banged another toolie, so I kind of put a little pressure on it, and she jumped and came off. I never even swung on that fish. So that brings us to 2 fish in the boat, 2 bites missed, total of 4 bites. That's about an hour. We got about 2 minutes to spare, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up right there. We're gonna regroup, go somewhere a little bit calmer. It's starting to get a little rough here, and we'll try the swim jig, see how we end up. That was that Kitech flashy swimmer combo, catching those fish. All right, guys, quick regroup. We're switching over to the swim jig. This is a 1/4 ounce dirty jig swim jig. 3.8 Kitech, going a little bit smaller on the Kitech, just to create the same general profile overall. I was going to change spots, but you know what? I think I'm going to stay right here. Let's start the clock. Another hour. Here we go. That was a good fish. I actually saw a boil, fired into it in the tulies, got crushed, but she crushed me right down in the bottom of the tulies. 20 pounds, gone. All right, underspin, 4 bites, swim jig, 1 bite, 55 minutes to go. Alright guys, that's a wrap. 2 different approaches, both tried and true methods. The swim jig versus the underspin. Today, 1 bite, 1 follow, no fish in the boat. 4 bites, 2 fish in the boat. Hands down, clear winner goes to the underspin. Now, if I had to throw my 2 cents in the mix on why that might have been, water clarity, little rough. Probably 1.5 feet of visibility, maybe a foot of viz out on the front of the tulies, out on the front of the weeds, maybe 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet back in the cover. I suspect because of that visibility, that little bit of flash, that secondary movement, that secondary action and vibration was having a bigger impact than the secondary action of that skirt. They were able to key in on this and draw up to it a lot easier, especially considering the one that hit this didn't hook up. Another one followed but didn't commit. That really tells the story that they were able to hone in on this a lot better. So I hope that helps you guys. Take that to heart, take that to your fisheries. Remember, secondary action can be a huge player, especially in post-frontal, tough conditions. You just need to experiment, figure out which one is going to be right for you. All right, guys, we appreciate the support. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you soon.